Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Wilson School Board for Monday, May 21st, 2018. Can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Early? Here. Ms. Ellis? Here. Mr. Hart? Here. Dr. Kennedy? Here. Mrs. Copper? Here. Mr. Martin? Mr. Negrini? Here. Mr. Wall?
Here. Thank you. We have our JROTC here to post the colors. Will you please post the colors? Sure. Can we all rise, please? And please post the colors.
Colors. Present. Mark.
I pledge allegiance.
Mark. Reverse colors. March. Right, base. Mark, march. Forward, march.
Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Moravich, solicitor announcements.
There's two opportunities for the public to address the board. The first is on agenda items, which is immediately before the agenda. The second is on non-agenda items, which is at the end of the meeting. Pursuant to board policy in the Sunshine Law, it is a 3-minute opportunity to provide the board with matters that are or may come before it.
Thank you. Under communications, we have a few presentations. First of all, the board would like to take this time to thank Sophia for your service on the board. I hope you felt it was worthwhile. We certainly enjoyed having you as our student representative. Do you feel like you learned something? Good. You ready to run for school board? Not yet. Too soon? Okay. And I understand you have some peers here that would you like to introduce who are going to be taking over?
Go ahead, come to the microphone.
My name is Chris Russo, and I'll be next year's student government president.
I'm Andrew Thomas, and I'll be the vice president.
Which one of you will be taking this seat?
I will.
All right, great. Looking forward to it. Congratulations. Ever since I've been on the board, there's been a tradition of the board donating towards a school board scholarship. And we've recently updated some of the criteria for that. So this is something that the board over the years have all contributed personally to help out a senior at Wilson going on to further education. Some of the criteria that we're looking for, they obviously have to be a graduating senior, looking for a well-rounded student who's not only good academically, but also involved in a lot of other things, such as extracurricular. They have to be civic-minded, have a minimum GPA of 3.0, and also must be going to pursue a post-secondary education. So this year, the committee came up with a student who certainly fits this. I actually saw her last night at her senior lacrosse banquet as well, so I know she fits that criteria as well, and I think we're all familiar with her, and I don't think she realizes she's getting this, but we're honored to present this to Sophia, so congratulations. Now, but then we're going to take it back because we're going to present it again at the awards banquet, the academic awards banquet. So congratulations. If you want to get up and walk around and just shake everyone's hand, that'd be great. You know the drill. You've seen that done before. And where are you going to school again?
Pitt.
Pitt.
Yep.
Oh, great. Okay. Are there any other communications? Okay. Yes.
I did happen to see Sophia's picture in the newspaper as well, celebrating their victory, and she certainly managed to find her way to the front so that everybody could see her great smile, so congratulations.
Thank you. Just to announce, the board did hold an executive session before tonight's meeting to discuss a personnel issue, and we will be, again, after this evening's meeting, going into executive session to discuss a personnel issue. Moving on to approval of the minutes. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes for the meeting of May 7th, 2018 as presented. Mr. Ehrlich and Mr. Case second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. With Mr. Martin not here, I will do the treasurer's report. Looking for a motion to approve the treasurer's report and investor report, general fund financial reports as presented. Do you need them all read? Do you want me to go down the list and read them all off? Okay. So looking for a motion for that. Mr. Ehrlich and Mr. Negrini. Second. Roll call, please.
Yes. Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes. Thank you. Payment of bills. Looking for a motion to approve the payment of bills as presented from the general fund, $4,233,384.30. From the capital reserve, $183,739.11. And from the 2017 B construction fund, $362,208.60. Looking for a motion for that. Mr. Negrini first, Mr. Ehrlich second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Hart? Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0,
Thank you. Moving on to financial reports. Looking for a motion to approve the financial reports for the month of April as presented, which include the cafeteria, childcare, and activity accounts for Wilson Southern, Wilson West, and senior high school. Do I have a motion for that? Ms. Ellis, thank you. Mr. Negrini, second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker? Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 again.
Thank you. 6.1, looking for a motion to approve the request for permission to approve a trip to Greece for a minimum of 30 students in grades 10 through 12 from June 20th through June 29th, 2019, 0 days out of school. Cost to students will be approximately $4,000. There's no cost to the district. Students will be chaperoned by Mr. Damiani, a female chaperone, and additional chaperones as determined by numbers. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Case, thank you. Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Second. That is a voice vote, excuse me. All in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Superintendent's report, Mr. or Dr. Fadley.
Thank you, President Wolf. It's my privilege this evening to present the personnel and program recommendations in the superintendent's report as presented in the agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Hart, thank you. Second. Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hart? Yes. Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. McCready? Yes. Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 against.
Thank you. Moving on to 8.1, looking for a motion to accept with gratitude the following donations. From the Wilson Academic Boosters, a check for $200 for a student self-defense workshop supplies. From the Wilson Education Association, a check for $200 for student self-defense workshop and supplies. From Goggersville Fire Company, they've always been very generous, a check for $10,000 for senior scholarships. From Funding Factory, a check for $225.50 to be used for purchasing books and items for the Cornwall Terrace ESL classroom, along with books for Reading Olympics. From the Wilson Education Foundation, a check for $40,000 to be used by the Wilson High School STEM Academy. Funds were provided as a result of the foundation's participation in the state's Education Improvement Tax Credit Program. And from the Wilson class of 1999, a very generous donation of $8,053.32 to be used for benches and trash cans for the high school campus. Do I have a motion for those? Mrs. Cocker first, thank you. Second. Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. That's a voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Under Human Resources, looking for a motion to approve the extension of the Delta Dental contract as presented. Mr. Hart, thank you. Ms. Ellis, second. Roll call, please.
Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. McCready?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Hart? Yes. Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 against.
Under Pupil Services, 10.1, looking for a motion to approve and ratify the contract with Opportunity Schools as presented. 10.2, a motion to approve and ratify the contracts with Hogan Learning Academy as presented. 10.3, motion to approve the adoption and settlement agreement and release as presented. 10.4, motion to approve to waive tuition for the students as presented. 10.5, a motion to ratify placement of a high school student into the CSF Bucksmont Academy as presented. 10.6, motion to approve Officer Robert Johnson for attendance residency verification work as presented. 10.7, motion to approve Officer Robert Johnson as our truant officer as presented. 10.8, motion to approve doctors, dentists, and game coverage as presented. And that should be the last one. Do I have a motion for 10.1 through 10.8? Mr. Case, thank you. Second. Mr. Ehrlich? Yes.
One question regarding the placement of the student at the Bucksmont Academy. How long is it anticipated that that student will?
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I'd just like to comment on Officer Johnson. I know we've said it many times, but I think his work here he does an outstanding job, and I think, especially in today's age, having him is invaluable. And I know I appreciate having him here. I know he's well respected by the staff, the administration, and the students. Maybe they don't always like what he has to say, but I know they respect him, and I think having having Officer Johnson here is invaluable to this district and something I don't think we could do without. I think it's, when we came up with this idea of having a school resource officer, I believe we were the first district in the county to do it, and now, you know, it's unfortunate, but you're seeing more and more districts have it, and again, I think there couldn't be a better person to do this for them. Don't want to embarrass you, but appreciate everything you do.
Yeah. No, I would agree, and the one thing I always think of is, you know, just because there isn't an emergency averted every day, or, you know, some big issue, he is very entrenched every day with the pulse of the school and what's going on, especially at the upper house and the lower house, I think, where it's most important. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we probably aren't even aware of, I know, and kind of has a feel with what's going on with our students. So it's very comforting dropping my kids off knowing that he's here. So, any other comments? All right, I think we're looking for a roll call for that still. Thank you.
Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 yes.
Moving on to technology and media. Looking for a motion to approve to enter into Dell Financial Services leases as presented. 11.2 is motion to approve to sell outdated Chromebook 11 to Anything IT as presented. And 11.3, motion to approve to sell 2 Dell Chromebook 11 to the Sinking Spring Playground as presented. Do I have a motion for those 3 items? Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Ms. Ellis, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case? Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker? Yes. And Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 against.
Under operations.
Point 1, looking for a motion to approve the use of Crabtree, Rohrbach and Associates for administrative lobby and boardroom conceptual design and construction cost estimates as presented. Is there a motion for that? Mr. Negrini, thank you. Second. Mr. Ehrlich, any comment or questions? Yep. Okay, looking for a roll call, please.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 against.
Thank you. Moving on to finance. 13.1, motion to approve the budget transfers dated April 12th, 2018 through May 16th, 2018 as presented. 13.2, motion to approve the reward of contracts to the purchase of supplies through the Berks County Joint Purchasing as noted in the attached list. And 13.3, motion to approve the award of the 2018-2019 supplies bids as noted on the attached list. Do I have a motion for those 3 items? Mr. Ehrlich first. Mr. Case second. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 against.
Moving on to curriculum. Looking for a motion to approve the student teacher and pre-student teacher placement agreement with Lancaster Bible College as presented. I have a motion for that. Mr. Negrini, thank you. Second. Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Roll call, please.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Hart? Yes. Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-0 against.
Moving on to policies. 19.1, looking for a motion to accept the repeal of policies 126 and 141 as presented. And 19.2, motion to accept the final reading and adoption of the revised policies as presented, which include policy 005, organization, 006, meeting, 007, distribution, 105, curriculum and development, 105.2, exemption from instructions, 106, guides for planned instructions, 107, adoption of courses of study, 108, instructional materials, 113, special education, and 113.1, discipline of students with disabilities. Do I have a motion for those? Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Second? Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. Thank you to the committee for getting through a big chunk of those. Can I have a roll call for those two items?
Mr. Hart? Yes. Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
19.3 is second reading of that list of policies. I don't know if there's any discussion or questions on those for the committee. And then 19.4 is first reading of that list, if there's any discussion or questions. Okay, we'll move on to miscellaneous. Looking for a motion to approve the revised 2018-2019 school board meeting schedule as presented. I have a motion for that. Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. Second. Ms. Ellis, thank you. Roll call, please.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker? Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Ms. Ellis? Yes. Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0.
Moving on to committee reports. Mr. Case, Berks Career Technology Center.
Meeting is this Wednesday at 7:30 at the East Campus.
From the IU.
Yes. We had an IU meeting on last Thursday. We saw a presentation on their Human Resources Department, and I'm always impressed with how smoothly things run at the IU. It's such a large undertaking. It's a huge, just massive undertaking with thousands of employees. It was really interesting. Let me get my phone. There was the 2018 High School Computer Fair, and Wilson did well in it. I have it written down. In animation, we had a first place with Adith Gopal in Wilson High School. And then we had a second place with graphic design, recycling for a better future. We had one more. No, I lied. Yes. Third place also in graphic design and operation environment. So we did well in the computer fair. And the other important thing that they did was they hired a new CIO, Director of Information Technology, Mr. Scott Major.
Okay, great.
You should know.
You want to do curriculum right away?
I'm going to do curriculum right
Great,
away.
thank you.
We had a curriculum update, and it was decided that they're going to try to pilot a new math series in selected classrooms only for next year. And then if that goes well, we will adapt that series. If it doesn't go well, we'll start over and try to find one that works for us. The showstopper of the curriculum committee meeting, and there's not really a whole lot of showstoppers in the curriculum committee meetings, but we tested out the new virtual reality things. Like they look like binoculars, and I have to tell you, I was like, ugh, this is like just phooey. I thought it was really dumb, and I was like, what can these be? And I was so impressed. The curricular uses for this virtual reality technology is unlimited. It wowed me in a way that I was super surprised about. And I'm impressed with the way our staff is handling it. I'm impressed with the way that our teachers are excited about it. And they're using technology to augment the curriculum in a way that gets students interested. And that's the way that technology should be used. So.
Can you give like just one example of how like the virtual reality?
Well, my favorite was, one of my favorite field trips was always to go to the planetarium.
Mm-hmm.
But with these goggles, we were able to look up in the sky with the goggles on like we were in a planetarium.
And they adjusted as you moved.
And like a 360, like, so you could look and see, like if you were in South America looking down,
Wow.
you could see all the constellations. You didn't have to go over, I mean, not that I don't want to go to the Writing Museum, but you don't have to make that trip. We were talking about building background knowledge for students for something that they were reading. It's not just a science or a math, or it's you know, building background knowledge for reading and history. And if you were doing something, they were saying World War II in the trenches, what was it like? So you could put on the goggles and, you know, find out what it was like in World War II in the trenches. And it just, endless possibilities.
Yeah, that's
So it
really,
was super
really
cool.
amazing. Yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Mr. Wolf, if I'm correct, some of these were direct donations from the Wilson Education Foundation. So again, this is another example of the district coming to the Ed Foundation and seeking that assistance from them, and where the Ed Foundation then can go back out into the community to say, here's where your dollars or some of your dollars are going directly back into the classroom. So it's a great collaboration of those folks in the WEF.
Great, thank you for pointing that out. Mrs. Schlossman, I believe, is not here. I don't think she probably has an update for EIT. Okay. So from an extracurricular standpoint, we do still have a few of our teams competing. I was at the lacrosse banquet last night. It's kind of strange to be celebrating the end of a season when your season isn't over. So hopefully they still have some things to celebrate this year. But our boys lacrosse is playing as we speak. They did win the county championship last week, and they are currently playing in a District 3 semifinal against our lacrosse nemesis, Manheim Township. And then our girls will be competing. They also won the county championship last week. It was a great night for Wilson Lacrosse. They will be playing tomorrow versus Exeter. I think, is this the fourth time we meet them, Mr. Kaufman? Fifth? Fourth? Yeah. Yeah, and all were close games. So they will also be in a District 3 semifinal against Exeter at Governor Mifflin. So that game's somewhat local if you want to catch that. Our baseball team is still alive. They will be hosting a District 3 quarterfinal versus Red Lion on Thursday at our facility at West. And then we had 16 track and field athletes qualify for states at this past weekend's District 3 competition. States will happen this coming weekend at Shippensburg as well. We have if you haven't gone out to a track meet, we have a 4x100 relay team that is just a sight to see. They are amazing. They've been, I don't know if you saw the article in the paper, they've been running together since they were freshmen pretty much, and they have the timing of the handoff, which is crucial in that event, down to a science. So it's Trey Magara, Alex Clough, Trevor Thenga, and Angel Martinez, and they did win the gold medal at the District 3 competition. So they'll be competing along with those other 12 athletes at states this weekend. That concludes extracurricular. Facilities, Mr. Negrini. Finance, Mr. Ehrlich.
No report.
Okay. HR, Mr. Hart. You guys are making this easy. Legislative, Mr. Martin is not here. I can pretty much say that for him, nothing happened to make our situation any better. PR, Miss Troutman, do you want to do PR and the Ed Foundation? Are you going to still be doing the Ed Foundation? Okay.
Tonight I will, though.
Okay.
At some
sounds
point,
good.
I will turn that over.
Okay.
Just have a couple things under Wilson Good News. We want to congratulate the Spanish students from both Wilson Southern and Wilson West Middle Schools who attained national recognition for their excellent performance on the National Spanish Exam. And I'm going to give you the names of these students, and I apologize because some of them are tricky to pronounce. If I pronounce them wrong, I apologize. So from Wilson Southern, Ashita Kumar earned a silver medal. Bronze medals were earned by June Manuel Batista, Rachel Enman, Nessa Purohit, and honorable mentions were earned by Julio Garamalgi, Jason Graham, Haven Laura Rivera, Ashley Harrison, Aiden McMullen, Katie Ulmer, Christina Burrs, and Paloma Rivera. And then from Wilson West, we had Karen Rippey and Colby Snyder earning silver medals, a bronze medal received by Carly Wayman. Honorable mentions were earned by Robert Calhoun, Eva Fadley, Emily Voigt, Sophia Lavigna, Lauren McDonald, Medhash Singla, and Dominic Stahl. So attaining a medal or honorable mention for any student on the National Spanish exam is extremely prestigious because they're the largest of their kind in the United States, with over 150,000 students participating just this year. And our students have a long history of performing exceptionally well on these exams, and that is to the credit of their teachers, Claire Guio, Michelle Simotis, and Teresa Bradburn. So congratulations to all those students and their amazing teachers. And also, the Wilson World Language Association 2018 induction of juniors and seniors took place last week. Languages represented at the induction were Spanish, German, French, and Chinese. And we had 2 inductees who were recognized for 2 languages this year. So we just want to congratulate all our world language students throughout the district for all their outstanding achievements this year. Just a few items under public information. We had the 2018 Wilson Games last week, and despite the fact that we had to move indoors because of the inclement weather, the event was still amazing and featured 130 athletes and 150 peer buddies. I know a lot of you weren't present that day. It was a great day for all of our athletes to compete, and we had a great representation from our community as well. And I don't know if you saw, but the Reading Eagle was on hand and did run an article and a photo in the paper on Saturday, which was great. Want to remind everyone that we have recently begun a district-wide climate survey. The survey is designed for parents, students, and staff to share their thoughts about the district's climate. We're going to be using this feedback received to ensure our district offerings meet the needs of our students, parents, and staff and are consistent with our goals. The summary results will be shared through the district website in either late July or early August. And the deadline to participate is this Friday, May 25th. So those of you who have not yet participated, please take the time to do that. You can access it through our district website. And we're going to be issuing some reminders later this week because we really want to have a great participation so we have just really good, accurate results. And then just a reminder, there's an early dismissal this Friday, May 25th, as well as June 8th. Secondary students are dismissed at 11, elementary will be dismissed at 11:45, and there is no school for students or staff on Monday, May 28th, in observation of Memorial Day. And then just a couple of notes under the foundation. The Wilson Community Night at the Fightin Phils will be held on Friday, June 1st. Students will be recognized for academic achievement during our pregame activities, and we have secured several sponsors to help cover the costs, so tickets are available, and all that information is on the district website. And finally, as a foundation, we submitted our application to the state for the EITC tax credit program for next year. And as you saw today, we secure $40,000 every year for the school district for our STEM program through EITC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gotten a chance to go and check them out. They are pretty incredible. I know Todd Gensmer he's over at Southern, does a lot. He's like the MC, and the Southern band comes to play, and it's just a really incredible time to get to see, I think, what is the best of our district that has to offer. It's really an uplifting experience, and my favorite part is I get to see a lot of former students. I saw Sophia there, lots of my former first graders, it's just a very heartwarming, wonderful experience. So if you haven't gotten a chance to come out to the Wilson Games, I highly, highly recommend it.
Thank you. I would imagine it's one of those things where it's as rewarding for the helpers as it is for the students participating in it. So.
It's really a whole district event. The bus drivers stick around, there's aides there, there's parents there. It's one of those rare opportunities where you get to see all factions of the Wilson community together.
That's great.
The fifth year, because I think we started.
It's 4th or 5th year, yeah.
4th or 5th.
It was nice to go up to Kutztown and see other schools, but this is so much more personalized to us, and all the kids get to hear their names, and you really get to, it's so much nicer when it's outside, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really a wonderful thing.
Excellent. And congratulations, Dr. Fadley. I saw a Fadley name announced there, so it's nice to see that Eva has acclimated well with our district. Technology, Mrs. Cocker.
At 4 p.m.
Okay. Student outreach, Sophia.
So this weekend we went up to Mount Gretna to help with the triathlon for I Am Able, and it was very, very muddy, but it was really fun helping and cheering everyone on. Also, Keystones and AP exams are pretty much over. We just have one more bio Keystone tomorrow. And senior finals are this week, and then decision day is on Friday, which personally I'm really excited for seeing where all my classmates are going. And student government applications are being graded, and we'll have our new Senate by the end of this week. And also the Color Run, which is held by Whitfield and Student Government, is going to be on June 6th at 6 p.m. And the link to sign up is on the district website as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, thank you for a great job. Mr. Maravich, anything? Okay. No other public participation? Okay. That being said, any other business? Okay, hearing none, looking for a motion for adjournment. Mr. Hart, Mr. Ehrlich, second. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.